This week on the Shameless Podcast.
How many of you still believe that if you work hard, someone will magically tap you on the shoulder and hand you a promotion? Yeah, that's the bedtime story version of corporate life.
Corporate life is way more different, and it's actually quite like The Bachelor. It's not always about who's the best, it's about who gets noticed. Roses go to those that are visible.
I want to bust this myth wide open. Workplaces don't just reward hard work, they reward visibility as much as output. Challenge this week to be share one success with your manager or team this week. Not bragging, just here's the impact that I have. Use the language that I spoke to you about in terms of how can you demonstrate your impact. Feel like hard work is your entry ticket, but visibility is your promotion currency.
Visibility does not automatically translate into value. Don't just be seen everywhere. Be where you are needed the most. I think I really like that.
Okay, quick question. How many of you still believe that if you work hard, someone will magically tap you on the shoulder and hand you a promotion? Yeah, that's the bedtime story version of corporate life.
Exactly. But in reality, like corporate life is way more different. And it's actually quite like The Bachelor. It's not always about who's the best. It's about who gets noticed. Roses go to those that are visible, to The Bachelor. Get it? And not quite to those achievers who are hiding in the back.
And that's what we're going to be breaking down today on the Shameless Podcast, the invisible employee trap. Why hard work alone won't get you promoted and what you can actually do instead.
Hold up. But before we jump straight back in it, do us a quick favor. Like this episode, subscribe so you do not miss not even the next episode. In fact, do yourself a single favor. Do yourself a favor and share this to your friend, a coworker who is working themselves down to the damn bone and still being overlooked. Yeah, we all have someone like that. You know exactly who we're talking about.
I would say consider it your good deed for the day. Now, let's get shameless. So, DK.
Hold on. Whoa, hold up. Who are you and what are you doing here? Please introduce yourself, Nono.
If you don't know who I am by now, then what?
Well, they need to know you by now. If you do not, it's for the new viewers. It's for the people who haven't never seen you, never seen the energy you bring to the space. And quite frankly, they don't know what they've been missing. And that's why they're here for the first time. So please, it's for those people, those ones who haven't liked, subscribed, and they're here for the first time. We want to give them the full episode, full rundown, the full experience. Nono, over to you.
Hi, my name is Nono Bokete, and I am the Chief Ambassador of Transformation Leader. I hope you enjoyed today's episode.
And I'm Dzikamai Gangaidzo, the host of the Shameless Podcast. And well, you see me here every single week, and this week is no different. But the beauty is we have a listener, a story from one of our listeners. And I absolutely love these because they are quite gripping, quite, scandalous. And last time we did this, Nono, we had so much fun. Right?
Yes,
but we did it in person.
Getting into the stories. But full disclosure, if I laugh at your story, I'm not really laughing at you. Okay?
You are laughing.
I'm laughing at the words that have been said and how they have received them from the person who's saying them. So really, I'm laughing at DK, not
okay. Fair enough. Yeah, you are laughing at me, and I take that fully on board. I will try my best to make it as light-humored as possible. So when you do laugh, no, yes, you are laughing because of me. So here we go. Hi, I'm writing from Toronto. Woo woo. Drake, right? Drake? Can you please explain to me why I keep getting passed over for promotions? Here's the deal. I work at one of the big banks downtown. I've been here for almost 5 years, and I literally do everything.
I love how he or she's like, I literally do everything.
I know, right? I don't know. But hey, let's not jump to conclusions. The person might be doing a lot. Like Kai Williams says, everything. So I stay late. I cover when people mess up. I deliver reports that make my boss look like a genius. Ouch. That's a little dig at the boss, right? That suggests the boss is not a genius. He just looks like a genius anyways, that's awkward, but we won't tell them about the name of the boss. And yet every promotion cycles the same story. My colleagues, who I swear spend more time talking than working, somehow keep moving up Well, I'm stuck here in the same damn role. I am doing something wrong. Or is it the corporate world that's just broken? Like it's hard work officially dead as a way to get things to get ahead. Signed, the ghost of Bay Street. Okay.
Wow, the ghost of history. Like,
I
what
was
does it
actually
mean?
I don't even know what that means, but like
Right?
I was getting like a bit touched with the way that it ended. And, it was like, and then sign off Ghost of Bay Street. And then
I
we're not supposed to laugh.
feel that the story you shared, he does or she does not do literally everything. Because I thought they were gonna say, I pick up dry cleaning, I help with like organizing the kids, like outside work activities, like to just show like I am everything to everybody. But it's the guys who are
Nah,
maybe they're the ones picking up the dry cleaning.
nah. Look, we're gonna call Ghost to Ghost that first and foremost, he or she is doing everything from a professional standpoint. So from a personal standpoint, they're there like working really hard. They're trying to do everything and they're like, this is my lane. I'm going to swim really hard in my lane, do the things that are supposed to be done. And then here we are being ghosted in the streets. Just stuff. So no. What do you have to say? How are you gonna answer this? Like, is the corporate world really broken? Is it like upside down? Is it messed up? Are they messed up? Are they doing something wrong?
Wow,
What is
are
the
they
problem?
messed
As in, like, I'm trying to figure it out. Like, this is a conundrum that is all the way from Toronto, and I'm just there like something's not working. And I actually can empathize, and I don't want to get into that just yet. I'd like to hear your comments first before we do.
All right, so I want to bust this myth wide open. Workplaces don't just reward hard work, they reward visibility as much as output. And this isn't something new. This is something that's like common, especially in the fields that we're working in today, right? So there's actually research that backs this out. A Harvard Business Review study found that people who are perceived as leaders, meaning they speak up in meetings, they share updates, they put themselves forward, are significantly more likely to be promoted than people who quickly deliver solid results. In other words, it's not always about who's the best at Excel. It's about who looks like they can lead others
Hold
while
up.
Excel
No.
magic, right?
Wait, no. Are you telling me that it's about looking good as opposed to being good?
I'm telling you, it's about being perceived as good. So not
But
in
what's the difference there? I mean, that's like semantics. Like as long as I can like pretend to look good to be good. Like I don't. You're gonna no. You're gonna
Okay,
have
let
to
me
like
give you an example to maybe
yeah.
try and like take this a little bit home. So if you were to think about corporate life like a talent show and you're the singer, like you want to be singing, it wouldn't be just about you singing. You'd have to grab the mic, step into the spotlight, and make sure that people hear you sing. Otherwise, you're just humming beautifully in the background and someone else wins that trophy.
Okay. All right. Hold up. So if I've understood what you're saying, I'm gonna just try to paraphrase
Wow, you like zoomed all the way in. Is it that
into
serious?
my yeah. I was like, we're gonna pay attention now. You're gonna listen to me.
Okay, I'm listening. My eyes are big wide
Okay.
open, are big.
So if I've understood you right, it's kind of like people want to see a more full experience. They don't want to just have the one-dimensional version of you, whether it's you're getting results or not. But you have to also they have to be able to relate to you on a stage greater than just the Excel. You need to be able to communicate, connect, and be more than just a doer or a quiet doer. You have to grab the mic, like, so you have to be present.
Yeah, like so for the ghost of Bay Street, my question to him or her is like, are you actually hiding behind your hard work or and hoping that someone's gonna notice you? Because I think a lot of people kind of go like, I've had many conversations, but I do the work, like, I do really good work, I do better work than the other person. And I'm like, I believe you. I believe that you do better work than the other person. I believe that you work really hard. But if you're not making sure that your contributions can't be ignored, that people know that it's you, like, and so much so, it's going to be quite difficult. And there is a line, and I actually think I want to take this to you, DK, like from your experience, because I think there's a difference between being helpful versus being memorable, right? And that's kind of what you have to navigate in this like trying to, get out of the invisible employee trap. So from your experiences, like where have you seen the difference between being helpful versus being memorable? And how have you seen that play out to like increase visibility?
So I think I'm gonna maybe spin it a bit, right? I think maybe a bit of both is needed, right? So being helpful is that person who is dependable, reliable, but then at times you go, this person, though they are good, I know that I cannot put them in front of place X, Y, Z, or maybe they're not the first name that comes to mind, right? So it's like when you are looking to get somebody to do a presentation or to represent you, you want somebody who's going to be able to represent you in a way that can complement or represent the fullness of your personality and be able to either confront a situation, stand up, fight for certain things, and not necessarily just be able to follow instructions and get good results. So there's this level of independence that needs to exist in an individual's character or in an individual's ability to connect that then goes, you know what? Not only are they helpful, but I remember them. I will remember them because they are able to bring themselves into a conversation. They're able to contribute into a conversation. So I think those helpful people are people who can be quiet, do the work, don't make a noise. They won't necessarily ask for more. They won't necessarily even make things a bit uncomfortable because they are more likely to look to deliver and proceed. And therefore they become somebody they are part of my B team, right? Somebody who's a dependable, somebody who's great, somebody's okay, but they're not going to ruffle the cage. They're not going to change the dial. They're not going to connect and argue and look to drive with a level of passion the result that might be needed. What strikes me as somebody who's memorable is somebody who's able to articulate not only the desire for an item, but are able to show a level of passion into what they're talking about, how they're connecting with people, how they're connecting and passionate about their work. And being helpful sometimes doesn't cut it, isn't just enough. You have to have a bit more to you on the table for you to actually think that, for you to be memorable. Even so those are some of the things that I think when I go helpful versus memorable.
But
Have I
when
answered
the
your
books
question?
are Bay Street, he or she says, they literally do everything. They stay late and they cover for people and they make their boss look like a genius. So in those three specific examples that have been given, it sounds like they're helpful. How can we flip that to now become memorable? Okay, you stay late and you cover for people when they mess up. So what do you need to do? Like, what's the next thing they need to do in order to now be more memorable in regards to getting away from being a B player who you talked about being, the dependable person, to now being seen as, yo, A-star player, come through. Oh, I got a board meeting. Come and sit with me in this and hear some stuff. Yeah.
So I think there's the first element for me is always about being proactive. And so, yes, you might clean up messes, but the reality of it all is how do you ensure that you avoid messes happening in the first place, right? So you then need to go, you know what? Though that these messes have come and I've fixed them, what I would like to suggest is that I want to run a program that's going to ensure that this does not happen often, that this is not actually something that is we just get used to and we get accustomed to me just sweeping the mess after the fact. I'm going to lead in this space. And because this has happened multiple times, I might even lead you, the person who I'm supposed to be working with, to say, this is no good. We should be doing better. Better looks like this. And I'm going to make sure that we get there by doing 1, 2, 3. This is how I need you to contribute into the space. Then suddenly you're like, well, whoa, okay. You're not just a cog that is helping me solve issues that I can see, but you're bringing something to the table that allows me to be better, that allows the space to be better, and is something that hasn't been brought by other people. And that's what I would say as the sort of the first step. It's that proactive nature of trying to resolve the issue before or to look at it longer term and more strategic than just sort of fight the fire. Is that a good enough example, or would you like another one that? Why did your face change?
I didn't realize it changed. I thought I was
I did. It's so beautiful that we recorded this, because now I'm just gonna be like, you're just gonna have to rewind and just like,
This is me closing my eyes. So when you're kids, like, don't find when you close your eyes. You think
you just, nobody's gonna notice or see you. Yeah, but you see, the thing is, and I guess that's the thing, is about being proactive, being strategic, or longer term thinking. And it's also, there's an element of it that is, there's a level of being bold, right? You have to be able to step out of a sort of a comfort zone that is the road frequently traveled. You have to go an offbeat and be like, you know what?
like step into the
And grab
spot.
the mic and step into the spotlight. And that's exactly like your whole point, right? It's like, you know what? I'm actually going to put myself out there. I'm going to suggest something, and I'm going to drive something, because I want to see a change. And that becomes the thing that I guess somebody will then go, you know what? Not only were they helpful, but they were memorable because they were able to bring something to the table. No. Okay. Do you have any further practical shifts that, I mean, people or our listeners can use in order to become more memorable, or to be not to be like that silent,
Visible
the
info.
ghost, the ghost
The
of Bay
ghost.
Street?
Yes, I do. So I definitely agree with you being proactive, but I also look at it like make your wins visible. I know that statistics show that females are actually less likely to showcase and, toot their own horn. So if you're female listening to this, get out of your own head, share one outcome in a team meeting or whatever you feel is practical. Maybe DK, like, besides team meetings, where else can someone make their wins visible? Like, where have you seen it show? Like, because not everyone is like, oh, wow, I'm going to listen to this podcast and it's going to tell me I need to make my things visible. The next meeting, I'm just going to do it. Like, there might be different ways to make your wins visible. Do you have any other examples of how someone could make their wins visible if they're uncomfortable with, like, hey, in the meeting, I did that, I'm the boss?
No, but I think so. Typically, in some instances, you could have either one-on-one feedback sessions with a mentor or supervisor, or even if you don't have them, you could actually just look to schedule one and be like, look, I'd like to get feedback. I've done these elements of work, and I'd like to get feedback on them. Right. And sometimes the ability to showcase your wins, it's not about, look, I'm so fantastic. It's, look, I've done this, and this is how I viewed my performance against what your expectation was. I would like to make sure that we are aligned. And that way, it is making sure you are all acknowledging that this was a target, this was realized, but maybe it gives an opportunity for you to learn where you might not have actually realized everything in that particular space. So I think that is one way that I really would recommend.
I think another thing that a listener could do is, once you're done, like, making your wins visible in either in the meetings or doing those feedback sessions like DK has mentioned, you can also document your impact. And this is really big if you are a transformation leader and you're doing a lot of work in digital transformation. You need to track your matrices. So saved X hours, improved Y outcome. That's how you need to start talking if you're not talking like that already. Especially if you're doing like these really cool, amazing projects that are, impacting the lives and improving the work-life balance of people in your corporation. You need people to understand, well, what's the ROI? What's the bottom line of that? So that when you're even talking about those wins to people, you're talking in a language in which leadership likes to hear. Oh, we're saving money, or we're making money, or we're improving this, or we're reducing that. And I've seen some people kind of say, like, I think the ghost said, like, my colleagues just talk. They feel like all they do is talk and they're not doing anything. And you don't want to fall into that trap of, like, being the person who just talks and doesn't do anything. I think that if you come up with data and stats that back up what you say, you can be like Lil Wayne, and he has a line that says, don't ask me why. They say money talks, so don't ask me why I talk a lot. Like, that's the kind of energy you want to be good.
Well, I mean, I don't know if everyone's got that energy. I said money talk, but I know.
What you got.
Well, but the thing is as well, it's like I do 100% agree with you, right? You have to put forward and do that, right? And there are multiple ways to skin that cat. And sometimes it's not like, but it can be also in this other way. And that whole element of your mentor or a supervisor, like when you're not in a room, you have to have somebody who's going to represent you, because
Yeah,
sometimes it's not about only about you. Yeah, you have to find the allies. What are your thoughts there? Do you have any
no, I agree.
examples?
No, I agree. Like, you need people to advocate for you.
Any
Like,
examples?
so for example, I have seen bosses basically fight for visibility for the people in their team. And
Yeah.
I know that this sounds terrible because you're like, oh, not everyone is like that. But unfortunately, if you don't have strong leadership, the people who have the loudest voices are the ones who are going to get backing. I'm not trying to say everyone should be like this. I'm just saying that I don't know what your leadership, how mature your leadership is. So what you'll find is that if you're able and comfortable to speak up and confidently, and you know, your mentor and your sponsors are also able to advocate for you in that way, then you will find that there's a higher chance of you getting promoted. And I've even seen this. I used to work for a very large consultancy firm, and there was something called laddering. And laddering basically means that your bosses get into a room and they say, who's the best person and who's the worst person? And the consultants who were great, fantastic consultants, everyone knew that. But if the boss was like this reserved, more quiet person, guess what? The boss who was
Nothing.
more vicious about getting the person on the ladder to that promotion
I
got
find
the
that
promotion.
I find
That's
out both the most wildest thing, but also the most beautiful thing. And would this ladder be like sort of a visual, like represented ladder? Like, would you see your name in the ladder, like your second place or your?
you don't know that like where you sit on the ladder. You just know whether you got money or didn't get money, and like you know, like if you made it, it's up or
Oh
out.
wow! So wait, but why wouldn't you make a ladder out of that? Why wouldn't you make it actually visible? Is that a bad thing?
I don't know. I think it depends on the corporate culture.
Okay.
So I know like in some African schools, they put the grades out for everybody to see who came first and who came last. And in some
Yeah.
schools, that is not done. Like they don't
Yeah.
like
No, fair enough.
private matters. So I think I can't, I don't know what the right answer is. I think it
Yeah.
just depends on what sort of
Depends
corporate
on.
culture you want to give.
But I guess back to the point, it's the quiet ones or those that aren't fought for will find themselves at the bottom of that ladder. And whether it's a metaphorical ladder or an actual physical ladder, you will be at the bottom of it because there's nobody who's going to fight your cause if there's somebody else who's going to fight somebody else's cause larger than yours.
Agree with that. Like even with me, I really try to be an equitable leader. So that means that even people who are quiet, people who are maybe more reserved, allowing them and giving that space to speak, and also seeing the beauty of like the differences in what people bring. But you'll find that you have to be so it's like a conscious thing that you constantly have to work on, because you might even be falling back on some of your biases of like, well, that person didn't say anything.
Yeah.
So you're like, nope, don't do it. Like, what did they do? And what you'll find is that in high-paced, high-impact things,
You don't
a
have
lot of
time for that.
people
Ain't
don't
nobody got
have
time for
time
that.
to be like, oh, Nina, blah, blah, and do that. They're just like quick decisions, quick decisions. So they're gonna just go this. So when we talk about like having strong leadership, think about when you're under pressure, DK. Honestly, the first name that you're gonna call, you're not gonna go, oh, the person who is quiet and that. You
And I have
probably
to explain things, and I like. I'm gonna go with the one who's just I am like, and is gonna, and you know that's the thing, that's the beauty. It's interesting because as you were talking initially, I thought that it's about the maturity of leadership that will allow for that to be seen. But I also then just based on the back end of this, it's it's not only the maturity, but in instances sometimes you when you're in a war, you want somebody who's gonna fight. You don't want somebody who is waiting in the background to be fought for. You like, I'm at war right now. Where is my troops? Oh, he's over there in the corner, busy base trading it. It just doesn't work. So no. What's the challenge for this week?
what your challenge this week to be. Share one success with your manager or team this week. Not bragging, just here's the impact that I have. Use the language that I spoke to you about in terms of how can you demonstrate your impact. You've saved X hours, you've improved Y outcome, and be confident when you say it. Don't be like, hey, this is what I've done. But I want to share what I've done. You're proud of what you've done. Stand up, shoulders up, speak from your diaphragm, pull in your stomach, look people in the eye, and don't be braggy. Don't be bragocious. Just state the facts, okay? Don't add the spice. Don't be Lil Wayne. Yeah, yo. What is that for goblin? No, I just did this, I did this, I did that.
So this is how you go from being Casper the friendly ghost to Casper the team lead. No?
Is that you? Is that you?
No,
That
no.
joke?
Did it not land? I mean, I thought it was...
No, it's
I'm
fine.
like,
Okay, I'm just
yeah, okay, fine. The first answer is always the real answer. Like,
stop.
just
But
me
in
and my
short,
mic.
I really feel like hard work is your entry ticket, but visibility is your promotion currencies. If you really thought that this was a great episode, I really want you to act on the challenges and the advice that has been provided, and good luck.
So before I then call for that call of action, before I say that call of action, I want to give you the quote for the episode. And the quote for the episode is from Bernard Calvin Clive, who is a world-renowned author, lecturer out of Ghana. That visibility does not automatically translate into value. Don't just be seen everywhere. Be where you are needed the most. I think I really like that. So, if you're tired of being invisible at work, the T4L Path to Promotion course shows you exactly how to showcase your value without being that annoying person nobody wants to sit next to in meetings or even say hi to, I guess. Then do me a favor and go, or do yourself a favor, not me, do yourself a favor. Go and check it out and start practicing visibility this week. Really enjoyed having you in this episode this week, and hope you click, like, subscribe, follow, and stay tuned for the next week's episode. Bye.
This podcast is brought to you by Transformation Leader. You can follow us at www.t4leader.com.